Grey's Anatomy was one of my absolute favorites and a comfort show. The previous week, in honor of the birthday of one of my favorite characters, Sarah Ramirez, I decided to watch it again like the first time. Grey's Anatomy is a drama that airs on television in the United States. This drama follows the lives of surgical interns, residents, and attendings as they work their way up through the ranks to become more experienced physicians, while juggling their personal and professional relationships. The main goal of this drama is on the characters' attempts to achieve their goal of being the most accomplished surgeon in history. Isn't it great when you can make a living by performing the kind of work that you've always wanted to do? Or would you rather have a job that is bland and boring? Is anyone here a fan of the television show Friends? Do you recall what Chandler Bing did for a living? The curiosity about Chandler's job provides the source of the comedy of Chandler. Nobody knows what he does for a living, but I can tell you that it's a dull job at a dull firm. The more episodes I watch, the more impressed I am with Chandler's profession. Because it's a comedy, we assume that the writers took a lot of artistic license in order to make Chandler's working environment seem particularly awful. But even after all these years, it doesn't seem to be all that dreadful. The majority of employees in today's economy do not have the luxury of having their own office space as he does. Even though he made a lot of money, he decided to leave his job. The old adage, "Find a profession you love and you will never work a day in your life," has been brought to my attention as a result of this. The majority of us go to work not because we want to, but rather because we are required to do so. The importance of money can never be overstated in our lives. A significant number of us are compelled to devote a sizable amount of our waking lives to activities that do not provide us with much pleasure. After we graduated from school, we were instructed to obtain steady employment. Nevertheless, today I will try to convince you to have a job that is uninteresting, will never provide you anything, and is a career that nobody would ever think of having. Have you ever heard of that work before? Keep up with this to learn more. Careers like doctors, lawyers, and corporate executives are appealing because they often pay well and are held in high regard by society. However, there are many more jobs that may provide a comfortable living and satisfying sense of purpose. People will treat you with great deference if you say that you are a top executive at a Fortune 500 business, rather than a cashier. The world operates in this way. Of course, that's not the way it should be, but it is. And some individuals are prepared to give their everything to achieve social status. One of the drawbacks of these professions is the need to be on call around the clock. This is before we even get into the fuck-ups in management and the corporate slavery that comes with working such long and unpredictable hours. Simply said, they are necessary qualifications for the available positions. There's nothing inherently bad about these occupations. Those who choose them are usually well aware of the challenges they'll face. To further their profession, they are willing to sacrifice their happiness. Most individuals who work in these fields do so for financial reasons, rather than because they really like performing the work. Who exactly are the hardworking individuals who make a difference every day? I'm referring to the hardworking individuals out in the fields who really like their work. Jobs in the gaming, fashion, travel, and sports industries provide the salary and lifestyle that many people only dream of, right? Yes, true, but only a select few have such a lucky opportunity. The truth is that the most desirable places to work are at well-known corporations in prestigious fields. The explanation for this is elementary. Workers who aren't willing to put in unpaid overtime, deal with abusive management, and accept relatively low pay are often outnumbered by dozens, if not hundreds, of equally qualified candidates who are willing to put up with these issues because they get to work what they thought would be their dream job. Even while these organizations tend to attract the kind of competent, career-minded people who tend to remain around for longer than the average employee these days, their turnover rates are exceptionally high. The best course of action is to often shift careers. Workers who switch jobs every 2 years on average earn more than their colleagues who stay around in the hopes of eventually moving up the corporate ladder. Keep in mind that you should only ever resign for the appropriate reasons. If you are offered a promotion and a pay increase of double your present one at a different firm, quitting your current work to take the new one would be a smart choice professionally. Unlike how your career would likely stagnate if you leave your present work because you can't psychologically bear another week of a coding crunch, this one is temporary. The fact that you won't always feel this way about your job is another good reason to steer clear of it. In spite of how fascinating a certain career may seem, it likely comes with its fair share of mundane tasks. To ensure that there are no defects in a video game, for instance, testers will spend the vast majority of their time replaying the same assignment. The vast majority of an NFL employee's day is spent in an office, where they respond to emails like everyone else. Even if you get your ideal job and it lives up to its billing, working 40 hours a week with the specter of homelessness over your head is a proven way to turn you against your passion. I hope I've shown you that high-profile careers aren't always what they're cracked up to be. But that doesn't mean you should settle for a dull one. Unfortunately, there are no major benefits to having exciting careers, but there are some to having dull ones. It will be far simpler to get a dull job at a dull firm than one of the few, highly sought-after positions at a cool company. In the early stages of your career, having more alternatives might give you a significant leg up on your competition who either had to wait longer for their desired job or endure longer internships. Do you feel convinced by my arguments? Are you still interested in an exciting career? Or maybe you feel pressured to follow the examples of your most liked and respected friends and associates and thus seek out a career that offers excitement and variety. Leave a comment and let me know what you think. Okay, I'm sorry to have to interrupt, but I think we should go back to our dispute. In continuation, boring work often pays more than interesting work. It's true that GM media staff earned a little more each year than Tesla workers did, but Tesla is a far more intriguing company. There will be exceptions to this rule. However, since remuneration is negotiated between the employee and the firm, on the other hand, if there are many applicants for a job opening, the corporation may likely get away with paying its employees less. When we examine economic sectors as a whole, this becomes much more blatant. Web developers may expect higher median earnings than video game programmers. Administrative assistants at banks and magazines have around the same salary range. Yet, a marketing manager at Exxon makes more than his or her counterpart at the Patriots. Making the most money possible from work is a top priority if you are doing it for financial reasons. Remember that the building's name is invisible from where you work anyhow. Now, if financial stability isn't your top priority, choose a dull profession. Even the most mundane jobs have some enticing benefits. The monotony of a 9-to-5 job is far more welcome. Employees and upper management at a dull firm are more prone to see their work as just a means to an end, providing for their families. This corporate mindset often leads to more fruitful interactions amongst co-workers. In contrast to a company where the management has drunk the "we are changing the world" Kool-Aid, a manager at a generic boring company who has been in their job for decades and has no ambitions of moving up the corporate ladder will not take it personally if you ask for a raise, promotion, or reference letter. Often, firms that seem promising on the surface have a terrible work environment and high turnover rates. This is because managers will often put undue pressure on their employees if they think their work is more meaningful than making a livelihood. It is discussed how settings often foster poisonous working cultures. Direct verbal abuse will be seen by managers as just a passionate argument between colleagues. In interesting areas, where there is always a waiting list of applicants, managers who treat their employees poorly are considerably more likely to get away with it. Just in case you're wondering, yes, you are completely correct. There are great managers and there are bad managers, just as there are two sides to every story. However, the largest perk of a job you first thought would be uninteresting is the increased likelihood that you will end up working for a wonderful manager. Also, they'll be better equipped to handle the challenges of the job because of their increased experience. Working for a management who has seen it all is likely to be a lot more satisfying than working for a manager who is still learning the ropes. Because of this, a manager with greater experience is less likely to overwork their staff in an effort to show themselves. Finding a competent boss who can make your workdays bearable and advance your career so you can earn more money and enjoy life is more likely if you work at a job that you find uninteresting. A lot of people were so dense that they tried to make a living out of it. I think I know why people like workplace comedies like Office Space and Parks and Recreation and The Office so much. While the dullness of The Office is satirized in these episodes, the characters are shown to be very at ease while at work. Those who work there tend to stay, and even the villainous managers aren't harsh to their staff. Perhaps this is a reflection on how low we have set the bar in the United States for what constitutes tolerable working conditions. But I believe it's more than that. These are the programs we binge watch when we need to relax. We wouldn't do it unless we secretly thought that maybe it wouldn't be that horrible to spend our days in these boring workplaces with these individuals. Perhaps you also believe doing boring jobs might pave the way to a more interesting life. That's it. Now you know all the reasons why you should have a boring job. You might consider having one. Tell me your decision about these arguments in the comment section. Please subscribe to this channel as well as like this video if you have time. Have a great day and I will see you soon.